Раз. 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 А перевірте, будь ласка, мікрофон мій. Раз. Окей. Accurate? Okay. We'll just start the first press conference. So, please, your questions. You have a question? Yeah. Мікрофон, быстріше, Наталка. Сядь першим. Okay, so then maybe outside of the moderator. Yeah, okay.
Excuse me, just my question, I had a question for Mr. Murakami. I was very curious. I mean, this is just telling you as a matter of fact. I was just curious what he meant by the explosion, but I'll ask him later. Is it working? Yes. Okay. Well, then I'll ask this question to Mr. Gibbons. Just, I want to ask you, why did you decide to take part in this prize, and what do you think the significance is internationally, and how much of an impact this will have long term? Long term on the contemporary art scene, the international contemporary art scene.
From when I was younger, I would always participate in different events where I had the opportunity to try to prove myself. It gave me something to look forward to. So I think that's really important, because there's an aspect when you have drive, you want to be able to have a direction to put that drive and to try to have effect. But I think that this is so obvious of how global art is, and that the vocabulary that we share, it's international. We really have the same desires and hopes, and we respond to the same thing physically. And art is an amazing communicator, and it's a very important, always in our lives, and can bring transcendence. And I know that you two had some transcendence this evening with the prize. That's great.
Good evening, Ola Kucher, News Channel 24 from Ukraine. The typical questions to winners, traditional questions from journalists. What was your inspiration to create these works, which we can see in Ukraine, for both winners? Ask.
Okay, Cynthia, will you start first? Russ. Russ. 1, 2.
The videos are a trilogy that I am developed since 2007. And so, but I discovered that it was a trilogy when I was recording the last one video, the Crusade. But I think it's not inspiration, but I think it's like a research about synthesis and geometric circuits, you know? I think it is.
Mircea? Can you tell us about your source of inspiration?
I don't think inspiration is a good word. Basically, I think it's about work. The way I kind of do it is I observe my city all the time. And basically, at one point, I saw that they were removing these old objects from public space. And that's how it happened. So.
Thank you. Next question from the Times, Ben.
Question for Cynthia. It's Ben Hoyle from the Times. I gather you recently had a baby. I wonder if you could tell us a bit about the experience of coming over here so soon after that. How you said it's been pretty extraordinary to even come here and to then win this award after that.
Ben Hoyle from the Times, he heard that you got baby recently. That's one of the reasons you couldn't come for the vernissage of the show. That's what we heard. So how do you feel about coming now, and what do you feel?
Yeah, it was an adventure, as I said. Yeah, I hope that my baby is waiting for me in Brazil. Yeah, for me, it's nice to know that people of all over the world saw my work, and yeah, it's a really nice experience.
Thank you. I wanted to ask Daniel, you know, a lot of people came here and nobody actually believed us that we did know the name of the winner in the morning or like a week ago or maybe when we launched the prize. So as a chairman of the jurors, and then Mr. Envezer will continue, can you tell us a little bit more about the procedure? How actually it was taking place? Did you fight? Did you argue? And how did you find this decision to choose only one artist out of 21?
We did not fight, but we did argue. Yes, we did discuss. We looked at the show, and I have to say that although we all work with art and we all put together exhibitions with a lot of young artists, many of these people were not known to us. I could say personally that half of the people I had never heard the name of. So I would say that what made it meaningful for someone like me, and I think I can speak for my colleagues also, was that of course it's nice to support a project like this, but it's also just that you're curious about a new generation of artists. So many of these people were new to us. Some of them are very visible. Others are not so visible in the big exhibition circuit. So, you know, we took what we saw, and that was the starting point. And rather quickly, we came down to a pretty small group. And in the end, I could say that when it comes to the two prize-winning artists, it was unanimous. Then, in the end, we voted. So it was, you know, all the way down to 3, 4, it was, you know, just discussions, and then we started to vote. That's how it worked.
Mr. Envezer, and now your story.
Well, my story is pretty much the same as Daniel's. I think that every opportunity to be in a jury like this also gives you an opportunity to learn, not only from the work that you're looking at, but also from your colleagues, to share perspectives. And whilst there was it was mild debate, simply because the exhibition was so well prepared, very wonderfully programmed, that we had the opportunity to really have a direct experience of the work in ways that some juries do not really work. So this, for me, was an added bonus, and as Daniel mentioned, the opportunity to see not only a diversity of practices, but also to see a range of works that and artists that some of us really didn't know very much about in the beginning, certainly makes the Pinchuk Prize for me a very important one, because it will always be not only just about a prize, but about discovery and about possibilities of the artists in the future.
Thank you. I would like to ask Nicholas, today we have Pinchuk Art Center Prize. Yesterday we had Kandinsky Prize Award. Recently we announced the Turner Prize winner. What can you say comparing all these prizes, and from your experience, how important is that for supporting, developing and promoting the young generation of artists?
Well, I think that most of the prizes are defined by national terms rather than international. Most of the international awards are made as lifetime awards to much older artists. So maybe the Hugo Boss is one of the few prizes which is given at an international level. And so Pinchuk and the prize that we're celebrating today is really the first that recognizes that the world has changed very dramatically in the last 20 years. That we have to look not just to Northwest Europe and North America, but across the whole world. And you see in the range of artists and the range also even of the jury and the selectors, that it's a very different world from the world we knew before. So I think that this prize will immediately capture enormous interest in the art world.
Thank you. questions?
Cynthia, just a question about the prize money. What are your plans? How will you spend it? I understand some of the money has to go towards a new project. Can you, at this point, do you have some plans in mind, or are you still thinking?
Oh, many plans. But the main plan is to still experimenting and research and have time to develop new projects. I think artists needs to experiment all the time.
Thank you. Another question? Then Eckhart, maybe to make the conclusion, as a general director of the institution, one of the juror, and one of the person who constructed this prize, what do you feel now when everything seems to be over and we are ready to start another one?
Well, is it better? Yes, that's better. Well, I mean, first of all, you must know it was a long process to come here to reach this stage. And it will be another long process to continue. As I think the most important thing is not to see this as an end point, as a fixed point, but that we permanently will continue working with young artists. I mean, it's a promise for the young artists who were nominees. We keep you in mind and we keep our eyes on you. This is very important. I mean, I think money is one side, and to be famous in a moment. But the most important thing that we have this commitment together, the institutions, the artists, and the young generation, and that we can work together to make something very special and new, and help you, and you can help us to present really strong exhibitions. And thank you for that.
Thank you. And before we go to after party, may we have another group picture with all of you?